What's going on, my friends? 4 months and 26 days sober. In 4 more days, I will have 5 months. Pretty crazy. Today, I wanted to read the daily reflection. I haven't done it in a while, and I believe that it relates, man. Sometimes it's really good, sometimes it's not. But I can always take something out of these readings, and it always reminds me, right? Today's is January 10th, United We Stand. We learned that we had to fully concede to our innermost selves that we were alcoholics. This is the first step in recovery. The delusion that we are like other people or presently maybe has to be smashed. And that's 100% true. You cannot fix a problem that you don't think exists. And that's why they say in the program, one of the biggest things in recovery is getting honest. You have to get honest with yourself. You can deny, you can justify, you can redirect all you want. Nobody else can diagnose you. Only you, in your heart of hearts, know if you are an alcoholic or a drug addict, right? And you're only lying to yourself, because I promise you that the people that you're lying to or trying to manipulate or justify your drinking or using, they already know. We're not sneaky people. We are not sneaky. We may think that we're slick and people aren't knowing, but the people around you, the people that love you, they know what's going on. It's you that's in denial. You're not fooling anybody. I promise you that. Okay? 100%. I came to Alcoholics Anonymous because I was no longer able to control my drinking. It was either my wife's complaining about my drinking, or maybe the sheriff forced me to go to AA meetings, or perhaps I knew deep down inside that I couldn't drink like others, but I was unwilling to admit it because the alternative terrified me. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women united against a common fatal disease. Each one of our lives is linked to every other, much like the survivors on a life raft at sea. If we all work together, we can get safely to shore. There's three aspects to this recovery thing, right? It's on my hand. Unity, service, and recovery, right? Think of a stool, okay? 3 legs on a stool, holding that stool up. If one of those legs is weak or non-existent, that stool's going to crumble. And you're sitting on something that's going to fall. And you're going to hurt yourself, right? You got to keep it all strong. The service comes from chairing meetings, helping out somebody, picking up the phone when somebody calls you, being there for the next suffering alcoholic. Unity, going to meetings, being a part of, okay? A unity, a fellowship. That's what this whole thing is based on. Another drug addict or alcoholic is not going to relate to somebody that hasn't been in their shoes, right? I can reach an addict, an alcoholic, like some of you cannot, okay? It's just a fact. When I went to a treatment place before in the past, the counselor was a food addict, right? I didn't relate to her a bit. She didn't know the struggles that I went through. And we butted heads a lot. We clashed. Throughout time working together, we ended up coming together because her addiction is no different than mine. It's just a little different. Well, it is different than mine, but it's still an addiction, right? She didn't have control over what she ate. Once she started eating, she couldn't stop. Just same with alcohol or drugs. Once I put a little bit in me, I want more, I want more, I want more. Okay? Recovery. That's the go in the meetings. That's everything included. It's all mind, body, and spirit. It really is. The book says we have a spiritual malady, and the daily maintenance of our spiritual condition, we will be placed in a place of neutrality, safe and protected from drugs and alcohol. We won't fear it anymore, but we won't be cocky either. The obsession will just be lifted. Okay? It's same deal with my car, right? The problems I was having with my vehicle is because I didn't maintain my vehicle like I should have. And then what was the outcome of not doing my daily maintenance on it? It crumbled. It damn near fell apart on me. And it hurt, and I had to pay big time and dig myself out of that. Same with our recovery, our sobriety. If we don't work on it daily and maintain our spiritual condition our recovery, our sobriety, it's going to boil over and it's going to crumble. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but it will crumble, okay? So I encourage you, please, if you know you're struggling, you know you're struggling. You're not fooling anybody. Get some help. People are dying left and right. It's bad. It's real bad. I'm hearing about it constantly. One of my brothers that used to live here, Tom, the guy in the wheelchair, he's at Harborview Medical Center. He went into cardiac arrest and is non-responsive, and he's in critical condition. He very well may die. If not today, maybe tomorrow. He may not come out of this alive, because he chose to go back out and get hooked back into drugs. I don't know if it played a part in this. I imagine it did, because drugs at his age, with his health, it's not a positive thing. So I'm seeing the negative consequences, man, from this thing, from an outside looking in perspective, which is so weird for me, because I used to say I'm only hurting myself, right? We say that a lot because we're selfish ass people. Most of us are selfish. You know, I can only speak for myself. I'm a selfish person when I'm using and when I'm drinking. Even though I'm very giving, you know, I would do homeless drives. When I had my store and I was buying storage units, I would give to people in a heartbeat, right? But only if I took care of me first. Now, I was very good at keeping my habit fulfilled, if for lack of a better word. I always made sure I had my dope. You know, I mean, there was a lot of times I didn't, or it was harder than most days. But for the most part, I you know, being a father, I can't just up and disappear for hours each day, which towards the end I did. But so I was very good at making sure I had what I needed so I could be giving. But I promise you one thing, if I had $40 in my pocket and I needed to get well and my kid needed to eat, so I had a choice to make, what do you think I would have chose? As shitty as that sounds, it really is. Now, we always had food. If there was like not anything in the house at all to eat, it may not be what he wanted to eat, but I would have figured something out. But still, that's not the point, okay? The point is, if you have a problem and that you don't acknowledge, you will never get better. It's not going to magically go away. It's not going to go away, people. My life today is simple. My life today is peaceful. I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't change it for anything right now. And it's only getting better. I got my second Sublocade shot today. This is my second month going on it. And if you're out there and you're struggling with opiates or opiate withdrawal and you're thinking about doing the Suboxone route, now I'm not a doctor or a counselor yet. I'm going to be a counselor. Okay? I'm learning. But this is just from my perspective and what works for me. The shot is amazing. When I was on the Suboxone, as you can see, if you look back at other videos from just over a month ago, I was depressed. I had this dark cloud hovering over me, it felt like. I was reclusive. I was isolating. I couldn't figure out what the hell was wrong with me, right? Now, getting this shot, that dark cloud is gone. I feel back to normal again. I feel good. I'm eating healthier. I feel good, right? We have to take care of ourselves. We have to be active also. If you spend all that time, if you spend every day thinking about not drinking or using, you're going to wind up using. You know, somebody said in a meeting last night, that's why they don't count, like, when they quit smoking cigarettes, for example, right? Or how I count my sober days. Some people don't think that's a good idea because they attribute that to, you know, now you're just counting down the days till you relapse because every day you're thinking, okay, boom, 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 boom. For me, it's different. I don't feel that way. Every day to me is a win. I'm proud of every day I'm sober. So I count my days. But now it's getting to the point I won't be counting days anymore. In about 4 days, I'm counting months, which is amazing. So you won't be having me do videos saying I have 173 days, you know. I mean, sometimes I have this app. It's called Everything AA. It counts your sober time. It's got all the literature you could read. It's got a daily reflection, a gratitude thing, a nightly review thing. It's an amazing app. Check it out. It's awesome. And yeah, I just wanted to read that, man. You know, the AA community and the NA community is such a tight-knitted community. And I know a lot of you out there are maybe in sobriety and you're probably thinking, oh, I don't need to do those meetings. 12 steps ain't for me. And maybe it's not, right? Maybe it's not. But I encourage you to give it a shot. Try 3 meetings at 3 different places or the same one and just check it out. I'm telling you, because alcohol and drugs is not the problem. That was our solution. These steps and these meetings, it gets down to the causes and conditions of why we drank and used, right? And then you get to get rid of these character defects that are holding you emotionally hostage sometimes. You know, the lying. Because, you know, okay, what do you get when you sober up a drunk horse thief, right? You get a sober horse thief. He's still a horse thief. He's just sober. So just removing the drugs and alcohol isn't enough. And like I said, for me, I speak for myself. Maybe for you, you're sober and you're happy and your life's better. And I applaud you for that. That's awesome. But maybe you're out there sober and you're white knuckling it and you're miserable and there's something missing. I promise you, check it out. Okay, you'll find a solution. You'll find answers. Okay. What's great about this community is, as soon as you find another addict or alcoholic, you're instantly connected. Right. If you ever go to an airport, a train station, bus station, and you hear somebody on the intercom say, "Are there any friends of Bill W. that can come to Terminal 4 or whatever?" Right. That means there's an addict or an alcoholic at that terminal struggling. And so when you hear that, you go. If you have the time, you go and you help that addict. Calm them down. Reassure them things will be okay. You know, when you see somebody with an AA hat or an AA shirt at the grocery store, or my tattoo, for example, a cashier's a lot will say, "Oh, how long do you got?" Right? You're instantly connected. Because we can't do this alone. If you're out there trying to do it alone, I can't stress this enough. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. It might work for a little while, but trust me on this, man. Take it from, I'm talking to you from experience, and not just mine, but I live with 11 other men. I go to meetings every other day, every couple days. I see it. I've been doing this for years. Take my word for it. Give it a shot. But like I said, if you're happy and you're sober, doing what you do, then cool. Then you don't need it, right? But if you want to give back and help others struggling, that's another way to do it. Is go to these meetings. When you hear the newcomer come in that has 2 days sober, they have someone they can talk to. They see it, right? So pass it on. Pass it on, please. That's the gift of this thing, is we don't get to keep what we got by being selfish. We have to keep it, we have to give it away, if that makes sense. But I love you guys. Thank you for my sobriety today. Today I had no classes, so figured I'd just hop on and say hello. And I love you all so very much.